Welcome to the Conspiracy Archive. I'm your host, Ben Carter. The Moon Landing Hoax, a theory as fascinating as it is controversial, suggests that the United States Apollo 11 mission in 1969, which supposedly landed the first humans on the Moon, was in fact a grand deception staged by NASA and the U.S. government. Imagine for a moment a world where one of humankind's most celebrated achievements is nothing more than smoke and mirrors, a carefully constructed illusion designed to deceive the masses and assert supremacy in the Cold War-era space race. What if Neil Armstrong's iconic declaration, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," was broadcast not from the desolate lunar surface, but from a clandestine soundstage hidden in the heart of Nevada? What if Buzz Aldrin's legendary footprint, captured forever in the Moon's dust, was in fact imprinted in a carefully crafted lunar simulation studio? These questions, central to the Moon Landing Hoax theory, challenge our understanding of history, science, and the very nature of truth. At its core, the Moon Landing Hoax theory is founded on a series of anomalies found within the photographic and video evidence provided by NASA. Observers point out unusual shadows, the absence of stars in the lunar sky, inconsistencies in the lunar module's reflection, and even a seemingly fluttering American flag in the vacuum of space, where there should be no wind. Each of these points, they argue, hint at a terrestrial origin for the footage rather than a lunar one. Critics of the moon landing also cite the intense political pressure and rivalry of the space race as a motive for the United States to fake the moon landing. It was, after all, a time of immense technological competition between the USA and the USSR. The prestige of being the first nation to land a human on the moon was a prize that could potentially shift the balance of global power. Furthermore, there are those who question the technology of the era. They wonder how the primitive computers and rudimentary equipment of the 1960s could have navigated the complexities of space travel and safely returned the astronauts to Earth. However, the moon landing hoax theory is not without its detractors. Skeptics argue that the sheer number of people involved in the Apollo missions, over 400,000, makes it virtually impossible for such a conspiracy to have remained a secret for over 50 years. They also point out that the lunar rocks brought back by the astronauts are chemically distinct from any found on Earth, a fact that seems to corroborate the astronauts' lunar journey. In the shadowy world of the moon landing hoax theory, truth is elusive, and questions swirl like dust in a lunar crater. As we delve deeper into this cosmic conspiracy, we must keep our minds open to the extraordinary and the unexplained, for in the realm of the unknown, nothing is as it seems. In the late 1960s, the world was changing rapidly, consumed by social upheaval, political tension, and scientific revolution. The United States, embroiled in the Cold War with the Soviet Union, was desperate to assert its supremacy, not only on Earth but also in the cosmos. The space race, as it came to be known, was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a high-stakes political chess game, a testament to the technological prowess and ideological superiority of the competing superpowers. Understanding the context of this era is tantamount to understanding the roots of the moon landing hoax theory. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy promised the American public and the world that the United States would put a man on the moon before the decade's end. This audacious pledge came at a time when the Soviet Union had already achieved considerable milestones in space exploration, including the first manned spaceflight by Yuri Gagarin. The United States was lagging behind, and the pressure to deliver on Kennedy's promise was immense. The Apollo program, the ambitious endeavor to realize this dream, was a gargantuan undertaking. It demanded massive resources, advanced technology, and the combined efforts of thousands of people. But the Apollo program was not just about landing a man on the moon. It was about winning the ideological war against communism, about asserting the superiority of the American way of life. This nationalistic fervor, coupled with the enormous pressure to succeed, forms the backdrop against which the moon landing hoax theory emerged. There were also cultural undercurrents that fed into this growing skepticism. The 1960s and 1970s were a time of social upheaval and rebellion against authority. Trust in government was eroding, fueled by controversial events like the Vietnam War and Watergate scandal. This climate of suspicion and disillusionment made fertile ground for conspiracy theories to take root. In this era of change and uncertainty, the moon landing hoax theory found its footing. The unfathomable achievement of landing a man on the moon, the intense political pressure of the space race, and the pervasive cultural climate of skepticism and disillusionment all converged to create a perfect storm of doubt and disbelief. As we delve deeper into this theory, we remember that truth, like the moon itself, can often seem distant, elusive, and shrouded in shadow. The moon landing hoax theory was not the product of a singular mind or event. Rather, it was shaped by a multitude of voices and moments, each contributing to the formation and propagation of this controversial belief. Perhaps one of the earliest and most influential figures in this narrative is Bill Kaysing, a former employee of Rocketdyne, a company that helped design the Saturn V rocket engines. In 1976, Kaysing published a book titled "We Never Went to the Moon: America's $30 billion Swindle." In it, he claimed that the chances of a successful manned moon landing were calculated to be 0.0017%. He pointed to perceived anomalies in the Apollo footage and photographs, and even suggested that the astronauts might have been permanently silenced or threatened to keep the truth buried. Kaysing's book struck a chord with a public already grappling with a crisis of confidence in their leaders, and the moon landing hoax theory began to gain traction. Following Kaysing, a host of other individuals and events have bolstered the theory over the years. Among them is Bart Sibrel, a filmmaker known for his documentaries A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon and Astronauts Gone Wild. Sibrel's films presented what he considered to be evidence of NASA's deception, including alleged anomalies in the moon landing footage and confrontational interviews with Apollo astronauts. And then there are the numerous anomalies and inconsistencies pointed out by the proponents of the moon landing hoax theory. From the flag that appears to flutter in a vacuum to the absence of stars in the lunar photographs, from the multiple light sources that contradict the single light source of the sun to the so-called sea rock photo with a letter C supposedly marked on a moon rock. Each piece of evidence has been scrutinized, debated, and used to fuel the narrative of the moon landing hoax. Yet, it is not just people and evidence that have shaped this theory. The rise of the internet and social media has played a crucial role in its propagation. In the vast, unregulated expanse of the digital world, the theory has found a fertile breeding ground. Videos, blogs, forums, and social media platforms have provided a space for believers to share their ideas, present their evidence, and recruit new adherents to their cause. The moon landing hoax theory, then, is not just a story of a singular event or a singular figure. It is a complex tapestry woven together by a multitude of people, events, and cultural forces. It is a testament to the power of skepticism, the allure of secrecy, and the human propensity for questioning the world around us. It is a narrative that continues to evolve, to captivate, and to challenge our understanding of one of humanity's greatest achievements. As we delve deeper into this enigmatic theory, we are reminded that truth, much like the moon, is often viewed differently from different perspectives. It is a dance of light and shadow, of belief and skepticism, of fact and speculation. To delve deeper into the moon landing hoax theory, it's crucial to examine the inconsistencies and anomalies as claimed by its proponents. One of the most commonly cited pieces of evidence is the flag planted by the Apollo astronauts, which, in the photographs, appears to flutter as if caught in a breeze. Critics argue that this is impossible in the vacuum of space, where there's no air to cause such movement. Some have suggested that the flag was deliberately rigged to appear this way, while others speculate that the astronauts were not on the moon at all, but in a studio where wind effects could have caused the flag to ripple. Another point of contention revolves around the lunar photographs themselves. The images taken during the Apollo missions show a stark, black sky devoid of stars. This, skeptics argue, contradicts the expected view from the moon, where the absence of an atmosphere would make the stars appear more, not less, visible. They suggest that the lack of stars could be the result of either poor image quality or deliberate omission on NASA's part to simplify the backdrop of their staged scene. The lighting of the lunar photographs also raises questions for some. Critics note multiple sources of light in the images, despite the moon having only a single light source, the sun. They argue that this inconsistency could indicate the use of additional studio lighting in a controlled environment. The so-called C rock photo, in which a rock appears to have the letter C marked on it, is sometimes cited as further evidence of a set piece in a staged lunar landing. Computer simulation technology has also been invoked to support the moon landing hoax theory. Skeptics argue that NASA had the means and motive to use emerging computer technology to falsify the moon landing footage. These claims are often linked to wider theories about the Cold War, with skeptics suggesting that the moon landing was a strategic propaganda victory for the United States over the Soviet Union. The moon landing hoax theory is, thus, a rich quilt of speculation and skepticism, woven together by various strands of evidence and belief. At its heart, it remains a testament to the human propensity for questioning, for seeking hidden truths, and for challenging the accepted narratives of history. Whether one subscribes to the theory or not, it undeniably provokes us to consider the broader implications of our quest for understanding and our pursuit of the unknown. In examining the validity of the moon landing hoax theory, it is crucial to consider the strength and weaknesses of the evidence presented. The flag's motion, one of the most frequently cited pieces of evidence for the hoax theory, could also be interpreted as a consequence of momentum. The astronauts' twisting of the pole to plant it could have caused the flag to ripple. However, this explanation does not account for the prolonged movement of the flag, casting a shadow of doubt over its legitimacy. The absence of stars in the lunar photographs is another significant focal point. While skeptics view it as evidence of a staged scene, photography experts point out that the camera settings meant to capture the astronauts and the moon's surface in bright sunlight would not be sensitive enough to pick up the relatively dimmer stars. Nevertheless, the stark black sky does appear eerie and unnatural to the untrained eye, and thus it continues to fuel skepticism. The lighting inconsistencies in the lunar photographs also warrant a closer look. While critics assert that multiple light sources suggest a studio setup, others argue that the moon's reflective surface and uneven terrain could create complex lighting effects. The sea rock photo, despite its peculiarity, could be chalked up to a photographic anomaly or coincidence. Yet these explanations do not entirely dismiss the possibility of additional lighting or set pieces, leaving room for interpretation. The claim that NASA utilized computer simulation technology to fake the moon landing footage is perhaps the most technologically advanced aspect of the hoax theory. However, considering the state of computer technology in 1969, rendering such a convincing and detailed simulation would have been a monumental task, if not completely impossible. Moreover, maintaining such a falsification over decades, in the face of advancing technologies and increased scrutiny, presents its own set of challenges. Despite this, the notion that the moon landing was a high-stakes Cold War deception remains a tantalizing idea for many. The moon landing hoax theory, thus, stands as a complex puzzle. Some pieces fit neatly into the narrative of a grand deception, while others require a stretch of the imagination. The strength of the theory lies in its ability to provoke thought and skepticism, insisting on a deeper look at the accepted narratives. Its weakness, however, lies in the occasional reliance on speculation over concrete evidence. But in the realm of forbidden knowledge, where certainty gives way to possibility, the moon landing hoax theory remains a compelling alternative narrative, ever open to interpretation and debate. Skepticism and alternative viewpoints form the backbone of the moon landing hoax theory. Critics of the official narrative are often dismissed as conspiracy theorists, but many of them are serious researchers, scientists, and investigators who demand a more comprehensive explanation than what has been officially offered. Their skepticism echoes loudly in the case of the Van Allen radiation belts. These belts consist of charged particles held in place by Earth's magnetic field, posing a potentially fatal threat to astronauts passing through them. Critics argue that in 1969, NASA lacked the technology to adequately shield the astronauts from this lethal radiation. NASA has countered this argument by asserting that the astronauts' rapid passage through the belts minimized their exposure to harmful radiation. However, this explanation doesn't fully dispel concerns about radiation exposure, leaving room for further scrutiny. Similarly, questions arise around the durability of the lunar modules. Critics point out that the lunar lander, with its thin aluminum skin, appears too fragile for the rigors of space travel and lunar landing. They argue that the lander, as presented, could hardly withstand the vacuum of space, the harsh lunar environment, and the heat of re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. NASA's assurances about the module's robustness and the astronauts' safety have done little to quell these doubts. Moreover, the absence of a blast crater underneath the lunar module in the photographs from the Moon has also been questioned. Some skeptics propose that the module's powerful descent engines should have displaced a significant amount of lunar dust, creating a noticeable crater. The lack of such a crater lends credence to suspicions that the landing was staged, possibly on a sound stage or other terrestrial site. One notable critic of the moon landing is Bill Kaysing, an ex-employee of Rocketdyne, the company that built the Apollo rockets. Kaysing wrote extensively about the moon landing hoax, arguing that the U.S. government staged the landing to win the space race against the Soviet Union. He contended that many of the perceived anomalies in the moon landing footage and photographs are evidence of a cover-up. The moon landing hoax theory, despite its critics, persists because it embodies a profound skepticism toward authority and official narratives. It invites us to question, to doubt, and to seek the truth, however elusive it may be. While some deem it a wild fabrication, others see it as a testament to the power of questioning and the relentless pursuit of truth. The moon landing hoax theory, therefore, remains a fascinating exploration of forbidden knowledge, a journey into the shadows of history where mysteries and uncertainties abound. The moon landing hoax theory has far-reaching implications, influencing not just the realm of space exploration, but also the wider socio-cultural landscape. It has sparked endless debates and discussions, contributing significantly to the culture of conspiracy theory that pervades modern society. This theory has become emblematic of a broader skepticism toward authority and mainstream narratives, encouraging critical thinking and questioning of perceived truths. The moon landing hoax theory is also a reflection of the turbulent era from which it was born. The 1960s and 70s were rife with political intrigue, Cold War tension, and a general disillusionment with authority figures, providing fertile ground for such a radical theory to take root. It could be argued that this theory is, in part, a product of its time, reflecting the deep-seated anxieties and suspicions of an era marked by upheaval and uncertainty. This theory has also informed how we perceive and engage with media and information. In an age where digital manipulation is commonplace, the questions raised by moon landing skeptics about the authenticity of the Apollo mission's footage and photographs seem more relevant than ever. This theory has contributed to a broader conversation about media literacy, critical thinking, and the importance of scrutinizing the information we receive. On a cultural level, the moon landing hoax theory has permeated popular consciousness, making its way into film, literature, and art. It has inspired countless works of fiction and non-fiction, serving as a testament to its enduring allure and cultural significance. From television shows to blockbuster movies, from novels to academic papers, the theory has found its way into various forms of cultural expression, reflecting its widespread influence and appeal. In the realm of science and space exploration, the moon landing hoax theory has provoked thorough investigation and rigorous debate. It has prompted scientists, engineers, and researchers to delve deeper into the intricacies of space travel, lunar science, and the Apollo missions themselves. The theory has offered an unconventional lens through which to view and understand these complex topics, fostering a unique dialogue that continues to this day. Despite its controversial nature, the moon landing hoax theory has undeniably left an indelible mark on society. It has challenged us to question, to probe, and to seek the truth, however elusive or uncomfortable it may be. It serves as a potent reminder of the power of questioning, of the mystery that surrounds our history, and of the enduring human desire to uncover what lies hidden. In the world of media, the moon landing hoax theory has generated a unique narrative, one that has fundamentally altered our understanding and perception of historical events. It has not only encouraged a re-evaluation of the Apollo 11 mission, but also reshaped the way media is consumed and interpreted. The theory has provoked a deeper scrutiny of media content, prompting audiences worldwide to question the authenticity and veracity of the information presented to them. This skeptical mindset, driven by the suspicion that the moon landing may have been an elaborate deception, has led to a more critical and discerning media culture. It has fostered a climate of inquiry, where audiences are more inclined to seek multiple sources of information, cross-reference facts, and investigate claims for themselves rather than blindly accepting what is presented to them. The advent of digital technologies and the Internet has further amplified this phenomenon. The digitization of information has made it easier for individuals to access, share, and discuss the moon landing hoax theory, allowing it to reach a broader audience. The proliferation of online platforms and social networks has facilitated the formation of communities centered around this theory, fostering a sense of camaraderie among those who share these beliefs and suspicions. Moreover, the theory has had a profound impact on the field of media production. It has inspired filmmakers, writers, and artists to explore this controversial subject in their work, creating narratives that incorporate elements of the moon landing hoax theory. These narratives often reflect the ambiguity and intrigue associated with the theory, using it as a backdrop for stories that delve into themes of deception, conspiracy, and the elusive nature of truth. In the realm of news reporting and journalism, the theory has also had a significant influence. It has led to more rigorous fact-checking, with news outlets becoming more cautious about their sources and the credibility of the information they disseminate. It has also encouraged journalists to delve deeper into the stories they cover, challenging them to look beyond surface-level facts and narratives. The moon landing hoax theory, in essence, has perpetuated a culture of skepticism and critical thinking within the media landscape. It has prompted a shift from passive consumption to active engagement, pushing audiences to question, to probe, and to seek the truth. It has transformed media narratives, encouraging a more nuanced and complex understanding of historical events. This, in turn, has led to a richer, more informed media culture, one that is more attuned to the complexities and uncertainties of the world. As we traverse the labyrinthine contours of the moon landing hoax theory, it's fascinating to note the existence of even more obscure yet equally intriguing sub-theories that have cropped up over the years. These theories, often dismissed as outlandish or far-fetched, nonetheless offer a captivating glimpse into the boundless realm of human imagination and our unyielding quest for truth. One such theory posits that the moon landing was not entirely a hoax, but partially so. It suggests that while the Apollo missions did indeed take place, the footage that the public saw was staged. The actual mission, according to this theory, encountered otherworldly phenomena, possibly extraterrestrial life or ancient alien artifacts, that the powers that be decided to conceal from the public. The televised moon landing was, therefore, a smokescreen, a ruse designed to mask the true, mind-boggling discoveries of the missions. Another offshoot of the moon landing hoax theory ventures into the realm of science fiction. This theory suggests that in the 1960s, the technology to land on the moon did exist, but it was not of this world. It was, in fact, reverse-engineered from crashed alien spacecraft, a secret the government has been desperately guarding. Proponents of this theory often cite alleged inconsistencies in the technology progression timeline as evidence. A third theory, while less popular, is no less intriguing. It puts forth the idea that the moon landing was an elaborate ritual, a grand spectacle orchestrated by secret societies for occult purposes. Drawing on symbolism, numerology, and esoteric knowledge, advocates of this theory view the moon landing as a metaphysical event, a cosmic play on a celestial stage. While these theories may seem far-fetched to many, they nonetheless serve a purpose. They embody the human spirit of inquiry and our relentless pursuit of truth, however elusive it may be. They remind us that the world is not always as it appears, that there are mysteries waiting to be unraveled and stories waiting to be told. They invite us to question, to speculate, to dream. And in doing so, they enrich our understanding of the moon landing hoax theory, painting a more vivid, more multidimensional picture of this enduring enigma. As we delve deeper into these theories, we find that they are not solely the product of wild imaginations, but often stem from genuine questions and doubts about the official narrative of the moon landing. Each theory, each alternate perspective, is a testament to human curiosity and our innate desire to seek out the truth, no matter how obscured or convoluted it may be. The theory of the staged broadcast, for instance, is grounded in the notion that space exploration may have unveiled secrets too profound, too unsettling for the general public. It embodies our collective fear and fascination with the unknown, our longing to discover what lies beyond our terrestrial confines, and the lengths we may go to protect ourselves from potentially disturbing revelations. The idea of alien technology propelling the moon landing is an exploration of our relationship with technological advancement and extraterrestrial life. It is a reflection of our anxieties about rapid technological progress, our apprehension about potential alien contact, and our deep-seated desire to uncover hidden truths, regardless of how they may disrupt our understanding of the world. The occult interpretation of the moon landing is less about the physical act of landing on the moon and more about the spiritual implications of the event. It showcases our propensity to seek deeper meanings, to decode hidden messages, and to find connections between the physical and the metaphysical, the seen and the unseen. All these theories, as diverse and outlandish as they may seem, are united by a common thread: the quest for knowledge, for understanding, for truth. They underscore the fact that the moon landing, real or otherwise, is not just a historical event but a symbol, a canvas upon which we project our hopes, fears, and questions about our place in the universe. In the end, whether one believes in the moon landing or subscribes to the hoax theory or any of its many facets, one thing remains clear: the moon landing has forever etched itself in the collective consciousness of humanity. It has become a symbol of our aspiration, our audacity, and our ceaseless quest to push the boundaries of the known world. And as long as there are unanswered questions, as long as there are mysteries that beckon, the moon landing will continue to inspire, to provoke, to enchant. It will remain, in every sense of the word, an enduring enigma. Thanks for listening. This has been the Conspiracy Archive. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.